On Saturday, September 2nd at 7:30 p.m. in Austin, Texas, the LSU Tigers and the Texas Longhorns clash in an out-of-conference game that should be one of the biggest and best in all of the 2019 college football season. That's why even though this game's in week 2 of the season, I couldn't wait any longer to break it down. Right here on Lego on Fuego. Woo! This is gonna be a good one, Lego. Mainly because my Tigers is going to win. Coach O's really starting to get his feet wet in Baton Rouge, and his players and the fan base are starting to believe in him. He's come from 6-2 as an interim coach to 9-4 to 10-3 last season. And this year, we take that giant leap. That'll start big time in this one in week 2. Let me tell you why. While Texas's offense is pretty top notch and we respect it, there's not a hole in this LSU defense. Not one single one. Let's begin up front where we are very, very deep. I mean, that rotation's about as strong as the evidence that Alabama pays its players. We've got Rashard Lawrence, he's a monster. Braden Fehoko, the Hawaiian havoc setter. And man oh man, true freshman Siaki Ika looks to be something special in the fold. I can't wait to see him get after it. Hold up. Now before you go any further and take complete and utter homer status, let me just remind you that your rush defense last season was 34th in the nation. So you can't be that dominant. Actions, my friend, speak louder than words. I look for Keontae Ingram, who really started to come into form last season, to find some creases as a result. I mean, he did average 5 yards per carry. I fully expect him to have that sort of production here. The holes will also be there because you not only have to respect the passing ability of Sam Ehlinger at quarterback, he's also got some legs. Man, did he shine in 2018 with a 64.5% completion percentage, 25 touchdowns, and just 5 interceptions. He also ran for 482 yards and 16 touchdowns. As a quarterback, touchdowns. 16. That's just unreal. Honestly, I haven't seen a dual threat quarterback that good since, well, Vince Young. My dude's a top 5 quarterback in the entire nation, easily. And everybody knows quarterback is the most important position there is, especially in college football. Your rushing offense was 90th in the nation, so you can throw out all them numbers all you like. That's all they are, is numbers. Again, 90th out of 130. That's very, very bad. Shame on Texas running the football poorly like that. Now, can I please get back to the point on how our defense is going to be the deciding factor in this one? Great. Now moving on to the linebackers, which could quite possibly be the best core in the entire nation. Jacob Phillips heads that group. He averaged over 7 tackles per game in 2018. That's outstanding. Michael Divinity, Patrick Queen. Listen, these guys are unbelievably fast and unprecedentedly athletic. There's no way some white quarterback or some running back that only had 708 yards last season is going to find the edges in this game. And for the few times that they do get through the defensive line, this group will be right there to plug it and have minimum damage done. So we know the running game's going to go nowhere. What about through the air? Let's see. Cornerback Derek Stingley, 5-star recruit, number 3 overall in his entire high school recruiting class, and already showing signs of living up to the hype. I like it. Christian Fulton and Kelvin Joseph, both at cornerback as well. Those are both A's by my grade. Safety Jacoby Stevens, yep. And Grant Delpit, best safety in college football. I wonder if anything's going to go over the top for a big play on him. Yeah, that's a big fat whopping no. Straight out of Burger King. I'll tell you, I knew this defense was good, but after looking back over it for this analysis, it even amazes me just how excellent they are. And I follow this team. Plain and simple, Texas hasn't seen a defense like this in a long, long time. Or last year in the Sugar Bowl against Georgia, where we won 28-21. Again, let me remind you that actions speak louder than words. As good as your secondary may be, I like our chances with excellent wide receiver play and a quarterback who is capable to get them the ball. Joshua Moore, Malcolm Epps, Devin Duvernay, who is very fast, and of course Colin Johnson, who hauled in 68 passes last season for 985 yards, 14.5 yards per reception, and 7 touchdowns. With Texas losing Lil Jordan Humphrey to the NFL, I suspect that Colin will have a really, really good season. I also suspect that him and Sam are going to be on the same page in terms of really getting some business done and proving to the nation that they have a connection like no other. Them and the rest of the team also want to prove that beating Georgia last season was no fluke at all, and that the Big 12 can compete with the almighty SEC. So now that we've covered our offense and your defense here, how about we flip the script? Our defense touts the likes of Malcolm Roach, a 6'3", 291-pound defensive end who gives us a spark. And probably the best combination of safeties with Brandon Jones and Caden Stearns. If you can name me a better duo than that back there, well, I'd be impressed. But there's not one out there. Oh, so only mention the few bright spots you have, but skip over the glaring weaknesses that you have on that side of the ball. I see how we're playing this game here. Bro, your pass defense was ranked 110th overall in 2018. That's dreadful. As good as your safeties may be, your cornerbacks Jalen Green and Anthony Cook are in the business of getting torched or cooked. That's funny. Just admit it. Two of your linebackers, Joseph Asai and Jeffrey McCullough, had a combined total of 30 solo tackles last season. 30. 3-0. There are linebackers out there who get that in just 4 games. Malcolm Roach is great, yes, but your defensive tackles are weak. With that kind of lack of production on your defense, I have no clue how you guys were 28th against the run last year. But what I do know is that Clyde Edwards-Helaire last season had a 4.5 yards per carry average. And John Emery Jr., the 5-star, number 13 overall recruit, looks hungry and extremely talented. Those boys should bust through the gap all game long and really take advantage of whatever it is that y'all call that side of the football there in Big 12 country. Because I know it ain't a defense. Ain't no such thing as that there. And how do you propose they'll do that? With their 59th overall rushing offense last season? With an offensive line that is easily the biggest weakness on this 2019 LSU football team? No. I'm not trying to be rude. I just think it's funny that another SEC team that's completely owned by Alabama wants to come in here and talk about what they're going to do to us in our stadium. Like they're just going to go out there and out-muscle my Longhorns. Newsflash! It ain't gonna happen. Our 6'4", 304-pound, 3-year starter, all Big 12 lineman, Zach Shackelford, could probably lift your entire offensive line with one hand. Them boys are absolutely thin. We'll be able to get some push on them, and we'll be back there ready to bury Burrow. Let's say I humor that point, and it does happen. That you do put pressure on Joe Burrow. I mean, it feels kind of funny just saying it out loud, because it ain't gonna happen. But just for giggles, I'll allow it. Well, that just means we run quick routes with our excellent receiving group and play the short game like LSU does consistently year after year after year. Doesn't matter to me how we beat you, fast and quick like our linebacking core, or slow and strong like a boa constrictor. Either way, we leave Austin with a big old fat W, and the Big 12 is left with Oklahoma as its only possible playoff contender. Again, typical Big 12, begging Oklahoma to save face for the rest of them. Go Tigers. Tom Herman went 7-6 in his first year at Texas after inheriting an absolute mess. Then he went 10-4 last year and made some excellent strides. Now we have this year, and this is where Texas gets into the driver's seat. No matter what happens in this game, the Big 12 is ours to lose this season. Make no mistake about it. But this one still means the world to us, and we ain't leaving that stadium with an upset Longhorn fan base. Texas in a close one. Hook 'em. That one was fun. Honestly, all jokes aside, this is definitely one of my favorite matchups of the entire 2019 season. Which reminds me, on Saturday, I'll be talking about the biggest football games of the season that will shape it. And spoiler alert, this one's on it. Find out where it actually ranks when it comes out. Subscribe to the channel so you won't miss when that happens. Let me know your thoughts on this LSU Texas game and make sure you include that score. Like this video if you liked it. Hit that dislike button twice if you really hated it. And I will see you fools again soon. Alright.